Hello, sir. Good morning. My name is Pishreya. I'm from EC Department B section, and today my tech talk topic is preserving image processing in the cloud. So, introduction. Motivated by the rapid growth of image processing and data mining techniques, more and more image processing based applications are deployed in various end users device. For example, content based image search and digital watermark verification and so on. Consequent massive image processing tasks bring enormous computation overhead to data owners. To solve this problem, more and more users are outsourcing the expensive tasks to computing platforms. In such cloud computing platform, cloud service provider CSP offers a pay-per-use business model, which enables each individual user to use robust computation power in cloud while saving the time and cost and setting up the corresponding infrastructures. In fact, not only individuals or small business data owners refer to internet giants like Microsoft and Yahoo are also attracted by the benefits brought by cloud computing and authorize some services to the third-party cloud computing platforms. For example, several types of data searching works in Microsoft Bing have been outsourced to Wolfram. However, the participation of third-party cloud computing platform also increases the vulnerability of private data, example, potential data breach and loss. Under current cloud architecture, the content of the outsourced image data will inevitably to be leaked to the CSPs. In such case, the leaked content might be sensitive information like data owner's personal identity, home address, or even financial records. Moreover, even we assume CSPs are completely honest and could be trusted to have data owners' private information. Such privacy leakage still happens. Comparing with the traditional network server, the cloud computing platform suffers from more security threats. For instance, a server vulnerability in cloud server is the sharing of the computing resources, flaws in system virtual machine, SVM software are frequently discovered and exploited to attack cloud service in recent years. In a nutshell, the privacy concern over the outsourced data has become the main barrier to the further development of the cloud computing platforms. Privacy protection and the data image processing. For number one, system model and workflow. The system model, as shown in the figure 1, the proposed system consists of the two main entities. The first one is cloud computing platform, and second is the user. So user is the data owner who holds the massive image data and intends to outsource the image processing task to the CCP. Under this setting, a user utilizes the CCP as a complementary research for its limited computational power and outsources complicated image processing tasks to the CCP. Meanwhile, users also need to protect the privacy of the data. For example, hospitals under the obligation to protect the patient's records like medical images and profiles. In this case, to protect user's privacy, he or she has to encrypt the image data before outsourcing to the CCP. Meanwhile, the entity CCP is composed by the set of cloud servers. It is assumed to be honest but curious. It can only access the encrypted image data uploaded by users and perform the corresponding image processing algorithms over her text domain. After that, the CCP returns the requested results in the form of back to the user. Finally, a user can use its private key to the decrypt the data returned results. Throughout the whole process, the CCP shouldn't have any access to the content or results of the user outsourced image computation task in the plain text domain. Workflow. The second one is workflow. The proposed system consists of two main phases as follows. The data processing. In data processing phase for image one, a user prepares C through encoding process encode and sends C to the CC. Such encoding algorithms should be lightweight and support as many image processing algorithms as possible. And user only needs to encode its image data once, and the majority of the computation workload is taken by the CCP. Encrypted image evaluation. After receiving the encrypted image data, the CCP performs the image processing algorithm over the domain to get the corresponding encrypted results. Meanwhile, the private information of uploaded data has been sent to be protected against CCP. B, the design targets. After building the system and defining the workflow, we formulate the design targets in constructing a privacy preserving image processing mechanism on cloud. The first design target should be functionality, which requires the proposed system to perform image processing algorithm and generate corresponding results correctly. The second design target should be security, which requires the proposed system to protect the image contents against the CCP while performing the processing algorithms on the domain. The last design target should be efficiency, which requires the computation complexity on both the server and the CCP side, communication complexity between them to be practical. Here we use image feature detection algorithm as set of case studies to analyze about the three design targets: functionality, security, and efficiency. The first one is functionality. The image feature detection algorithms can be divided into two main categories: global feature detection, example RCB histogram, color layout descriptor, and color structure descriptor, and so on. The local feature detection, example SIFT, HOG, and here we use the functionality of RGB histogram as the illustrative example of the global feature detection algorithms. In my here we can see the figure of RGB histogram, the image, the number of pins, and locate each pixel to pins and histogram. In the color feature detection algorithms, a histogram descriptor is the most basic descriptor and building blocks for advanced feature descriptors. Based on the color histogram, we can compute a series of prevalent color descriptors, including CST, CLD. As shown in the figure 2, the computation algorithm of the color histogram in plain text is very simple. Security. The recall that in the system model described above, we assume that CCP to be honest but curious. It means that the CCP will follow the procedures in the protocol and correctly perform the feature detection algorithm over text domain to protect its credits for the commercial benefits. However, it is still easy for an adversary, example curious cloud engineer, to deduce the sensitive information contained in the image data through monitoring over the data flow in the text domain, especially this kind of attack is especially hard to be defended in performing local feature detection algorithms. Here we use SIFT as an illustrative example from the local feature detection algorithms. As a local feature detection, SIFT first needs to be detected the location of the interesting points in an image. In figure 3, circles with the different sizes represent different local feature descriptors whose centers are the location of the interesting points. In the process of secure image processing, since the CCP needs to be generated those local descriptors, it will inevitably deduce the location of those interesting points in the image. Efficiency. The complexity analysis of the cloud computing, we need to analyze the efficiency of the proposed mechanism in three aspects: the computational complexity on the user and the CCP side, and the communication complexity between these two parties. In the practice, They achieve the flexibility on the user side and scalability on the CCP side. Most existing designs only allocate necessary procedures like encryption and decryption takes to the user. Consequently, the complicated functionalities are required in the corresponding mechanisms. As a result, it leads to more complicated encryption algorithms to be applied and finally overloads user computational complexity. With respect to the few harmonic encryption homophobic encryption algorithms, corresponding encryption and the decryption computation complexity is even larger than the complexity of performing the image processing algorithm. Homophobic encryption based on image processing. Since the process of these properties fully FHE has been considered as the holy grail in the cryptography. After the Gentry's breakthrough on lattice-based FHE, a general solution has been shown to allow the evaluations over this domain. However, applying existing general fully home encryption scheme to image processing applications would be far from practical due to the huge computation complexity. Different from FHE, SHE seems schemes can also support limited times of these operations, considering the design targets of secure image processing mechanisms. Here we first briefly introduce the framework of the state of the world practical SHE scheme before discussing its merits and drawbacks. In order to encrypt the image data, we utilize the most recent ring learning with error RLWE based on SHE scheme form. Here we first define SHE scheme to be tuple of algorithms SHE equals to SHN and so on like that. Among these algorithms defines the secret key SK from the sampling a ring element. Note the above properties of only valid within the finite number of additions and multiplications. The schemes are usually utilized in both secure image feature detection and secure image retrieval matching mechanisms. And this is about SMC based image processing. And conclusion, this presentation studies the problem of privacy perceiving image processing on cloud computing platform, which could enable any fancy image processing based on applications on devices with the limited computation power. For example, a variety of instant image processing apps on the lens, watch, or the personal devices comparing with other outsourced computation tasks. Image processing algorithms are relatively complicated and have high computation complexity. We also present several case studies for different techniques and analyze their merits and drawbacks. And privacy decompression of JPEG file as a special case of the privacy perceiving image processing. DCT computation is also a promising research direction in this area. Thank you.